and thank you for joining us for Keep Me Posted with Planet Aid. And today, our guest is Kate Williams, who works with 1% for the Planet. And Kate is going to give us a little insight into this organization. So, Kate, could you tell us exactly what you do for 1% for the Planet and tell us a little bit about the organization?
Absolutely. So I'm CEO of 1% for the Planet, which means that I get to do a little bit of everything, but mostly just, support an amazing staff and, ideally help them to all, do their amazing work to support our network. And then I get to also work with donors and members and nonprofit partners. So, I really get to be in touch with pretty amazing people every day doing work for the planet, which is awesome. And of course, there's some financials and logistics on the back end and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, lots of good things. And then the way 1% for the Planet works, I've kind of sketched out some of the key stakeholders. We are a global network of members and nonprofits, and our members are businesses and individuals who are committing their 1%. In the case of businesses, it's 1% of sales to support environmental nonprofits. And then we also vet and engage with our nonprofit partners so that we can help build really strong partnerships that everyone feels really good about, members giving directly to those nonprofits. And we don't operate as a foundation. The money doesn't pass through us. We support our members in developing great partnerships, and they give directly, and then we certify that giving. So whenever a member has the logo, that means that they are giving their 1% and that we've certified that.
Okay, very good. And in all transparency, of course, the Planet Aid is one of the organizations that is one of the beneficiaries of that as well. So thank you for that. What is the motivation behind 1% for the Planet?
Really, since our founding, the idea has been that all businesses should, integrate kind of giving back, or you could also say paying it forward into their operations. And so the idea of giving 1% of sales is a really sort of tangible, concrete, pretty big commitment to giving to support, high positive impact things for the planet in a way that's really aligned with your business. So you grow, you drive more sales, you give back more to support the planet. So it really is about, integrating good purpose for the planet into everyday business.
So what kind of contributions have been made to companies? Like I know that with Planet Aid, there might be contributions of clothing or things like that.
Yeah.
But what are some of the other things that might be contributed?
Yeah, so most members are giving financially, so they're contributing dollars, and that's awesome. We love that. We do also have, members can also give in kind. So you mentioned clothing, but other kinds of in kind donations of products or services. And so those are the things that most nonprofits would see as either dollars or, those in-kind donations, or volunteer time, which is sort of part of that in-kind, giving, employees volunteering to support a nonprofit.
Now, one of the things that I saw on your website is putting people and the planet over profit. Can you kind of go into that more as the motivation behind what you do? Because that really is a huge statement.
Yeah, it is a huge statement. And actually, I hope that it will increasingly become not true, in the sense that, right now we're sort of in a space where in some cases there's like a trade-off that you choose to support people and planet, and that you're focusing on that instead of focusing on profit. And the shift that we're seeing is that really it's focusing on planet and people is the way to drive profit. So it's not like a trade-off. So, I actually hope that it's not an instead of, but that the idea is that when you put planet and people first, which is what we need to do, that, all good things will follow. And we're increasingly seeing that. I think we used to sort of be in the mindset of scarcity or trade-off, that you got to do one or the other. And if you focus on planet and people, it's not going to be good for your profit. increasingly, focus on planet and people, and it's going to be the right thing to do for planet and people and for profit.
And I understand that because it like you said, increasingly you see that people really want to find those companies that are trying to make an effort to do the right thing as far as in their manufacturing process, their production processes. So they're listening to the people in some aspects, and a lot of times also there are people now coming into business with that mindset anyway, that they want to do well by the planet. So in that, why is it that only 3% of giving actually goes to environmental causes? That was kind of strange to me when I saw that.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling that out because it's strange to us also. And we do have an increasingly, I think, clear understanding of it. Basically, the planet is big, and the issues that face the planet are big and can seem a little hard to get your hands around. So where there might be a local homeless shelter where if you give money, that it keeps the lights on and the meals hot for one day or something like that, a very specific, tangible, my dollars do exactly this. I think people have struggled sometimes with environmental issues to figure out how does my donation drive change, like climate change? Think about that, for example. It's so big. So people are like, well, I don't really know what to do. I don't know how my giving can make a difference. And so we have talked to some of our members or donors or, people that we've worked with who have said, I kind of felt overwhelmed by the environment. And so I was sort of paralyzed. So I didn't give. Or I talked to one donor who's like, I stopped giving to the environment because I didn't know if my dollars were doing anything. And what 1% for the planet has done, and our amazing team that I was mentioning earlier, is really help to break it down. So first you have the whole idea of the 1%, which you can wrap your head around. Like every day, if you think about it, every day you have 1% of your time or your money or whatever, your energy, and it's like, okay, I can do that. And then what we're able to show is through this global network, if your 1% adds up with my 1%, adds up with 1% over in Europe, adds up with 1% in Japan, suddenly we have this, huge amount of support going to drive change. So you don't feel like, well, what's my little donation going to do? So I do think that the sort of overwhelm and paralysis has been part of the obstacle to environmental giving. And we're, really hoping to kind of break it down and make it clearer to people how their giving can be to the environment is so critical.